Hey, hello everyone. Welcome to your own YouTube channel Uniform Forces. I hope you guys are preparing well. In last three videos, we took up some, important internal security challenges like Northeast insurgency, then left-wing extremism, and then the terrorism in Jammu and Kashmir. So today we'll be taking one more topic, that is terrorism in mainland, in hinterland. Okay, before that I'll be discussing some more questions which can be asked or some topics which you need to prepare for the interview. So the topics are basically, there have been several operations in the past performed by the defense forces, either by army or by navy or by air force. So you need to know about some of the important ones, if so that if the interviewer asks them, you can answer them. So at least prepare some things, some important aspects of those operations. For example, there was Operation Pumule. This was a very important operation. Then Operation Vijay. Thereafter, there was Operation Meghdoot. Then Operation Safed Sagar. Then there was Operation Cactus, Operation Pavan. Yes, so these are some of the very important operations undertook by the defense forces. Now, I'm not saying that if you don't know them, then that will be a downside to your interview. But then it will always be an advantage if you know them and if you answer them in the interview. Okay, so go through them. These are some of the very very important ones, and I think as a defense aspirant or as a CAPF aspirant, you should be knowing about these operations. Okay, after this, there have been certain attacks in our country. So, our next topic, that is about the terrorism in the hinterland. So, these topics are related to that only. For example, we had Parliament attack. We faced Parliament attack in 2001. Then there was Mumbai attack. 2009, I'm sorry, 2008, and then there was Pathankot attack. This was in 2016. Then there was Uri attack in the same year, and then there was Pulwama attack. This was in 2019. So these have been some of the major attacks, unfortunately, in our country. So you need to know about some important aspects of these attacks, like where they took place and which terrorist organization. There are various terrorist organizations like Hizbul Mujahideen, Lashkar-e-Taiba. So you need to know which terrorist faction has performed the attack and what has been our response or what has been our learnings from these attacks. It is very important to know about the learnings, like what steps have been taken by the government to ensure that in the future such kind of attacks do not take place again. So these are some of the terrorist attacks which India has faced. So now we'll be taking our topic for discussion, that is terrorism in hinterland or terrorism in mainland. So, our last video was about terrorism in Jammu and Kashmir. Now this is about terrorism in mainland, means throughout the country. So first of all, if we see the reasons for this terrorism in mainland, then we'll say that it is basically cross-border terrorism. If we see, as we know that Pakistan is engaged in kind of low intensity war or proxy war. I have already told you what is low intensity war and what is proxy war. So in this, basically, Pakistan, by using its ISI intelligence service, supports provide all the weaponry, all the money to the terrorist organization so that the terrorist organization can do the damage that is desired by the Pakistan. So this is basically largely sponsored from across the border, and as I told you that there have been Pakistan ISI links with the terrorists, and on many occasions, time and again, we have proved it through solid evidences that okay, this is the army of the Pakistan which is supporting the terrorist groups. There have been various terrorist organizations. If I name some, for example, Lashkar-e-Taiba, Hizbul Mujahideen, Jaish-e-Mohammed. So these have been some prominent terrorist outfits which have carried out several attacks. As I told you in the last slide, they have carried out various attacks on our important institutions in our country. So these have been some prominent terrorist organizations. After that, another reason for the terrorism in our country in hinterland is the proximity to the Golden Crescent and Golden Triangle. Now, this Golden Crescent is the country which lie to the eastern side of the India, and Golden Triangle lies three countries that lie on the western side. I'm sorry, I have told it wrong. So the countries which lie on the eastern side of the India are form the Golden Triangle, and then the country which lie on the western side of India form the Golden Crescent. So these countries have involved themselves in smuggling, in growing opium, and all the wrong things, all the contraband items, and therefore the money raised through such activities is also involved or utilized in terrorist activities. So basically, we have threat from Golden Crescent and Golden Triangle. Okay, so these two have been the prominent reasons of terrorism in our country. Then, if we see what have been the steps, obviously, next question will rise that what are the steps that have been taken by the government. So first of all, the government is augmenting means increasing the strength of CAPFs. Now, why have I told about CAPFs here? Why not the defense forces? Because as I have told you that terrorism in our country is mainly supported from across the border. Okay, it is basically from the borders that the terrorists enter into our country and carry out their missions. So it is the CAPFs which are basically involved in guarding the borders of our country. For example, ITEP on the Indo-China border, then BSF on the Indo-Pakistan, Indo-Bangladesh border, and then SSB on the Indo-Nepal and Indo-Bhutan border. So that's why I have mentioned about the CAPFs. So the strength of the CAPFs is being augmented. They are provided with the technology, with the know-how that is required, so that they can carry out their responsibility efficiently. The next is the upgradation of intelligence mechanism. Another very important dimension, like there has been establishment of multi-agency center. I told you in previous video about this. Next is the establishment of NSD hubs. Now 5 NSD hubs have been established at various cities like Chennai, Kolkata, Hyderabad, Mumbai, and one is being set up at Ahmedabad. So 5 NSD hubs have been established, as we can see here. And then I told you the coming of comprehensive integrated border management system for effective border management. This is basically a technology driven surveillance mechanism over the borders. Then strengthening of coastal security. Now coastal is another dimension. We know that the Mumbai attack was carried out due to somewhere that we failed in our coastal security. So for this, there is NIA, there is Coast Guard, Indian Coast Guard, And then we also established NetGrid after the Mumbai attack. We learned our lesson, as I was telling you, that what are the lessons we have learned. So this upgradation of the Coast Guard and then bringing of NetGrid have been some of our major learnings. After this, there have been amendments in UAPA Act. So these amendments can also be asked, like I was also asked about the amendments in NIA Act that took place around that time of my interview. So you can be asked on the similar lines. Now these have been some of the steps, some of the major steps that have been taken by the government. Now if I talk about the challenges that the government is facing in curbing the terrorism in our country. So what have been those challenges? Number one is radicalization of youth, and this is a major problem, especially in Jammu and Kashmir. They are very easy to brainwash. They are very easy to brainwash and then misuse them for terrorist activities. After that, there is misuse of social media or online platforms. Social media or any technology is at the same time a boon and a bane. So social media, when misused, becomes a havoc for our country. So many things which are spread using social media, they spread very fast. We can say about misinformation or malinformation. So that also create havoc and give rise to terrorist activities, riots, etc. Then threats due to there are IEDs, which are deep planted IEDs. I told you in the Naxalism video that we still do not have that technology to detect deep planted mines, which become cause of martyrdom of many of our soldiers, unfortunately. IEDs, RDs, RDX, okay, and then there have been several Fidayeen attacks. Okay, so these have been some of the major challenges before the government. Now, if I talk about what more can be done, means if the interviewer asks that what are your opinions or what are your suggestions to overcome the challenges and the problem of terrorism, then we can say, obviously, first of all, it is about the coordination between the security forces, or I should say coordination among the security forces, to be more exact. Then role of educational institutions. Now, educational institutions can instill the value of tolerance. Okay, education institutions in promoting values of non-violence and peaceful coexistence. After that, some social, economic inequalities need to be overcome. Now, we cannot deny the fact that when there is rise in unemployment, there is rise in, I would say, the people find more resentment with the government, and then they take up weapons in their hand, or they can easily be misused by negative forces. For example, if we take stone pelting in Jammu and Kashmir, then the people over that in that region are still unemployed, and that's why when they see that terrorist organization ready to provide them with the money, so they are ready to take up arms in their hand and then provide damage to our country and then do the damage to our country. So social economic inequalities also need to be overcome through various schemes of the government. After that, monitoring of social media, another very important dimension, very important step that needs to be taken to overpower or overcome the challenge of terrorism, because social media, as I told you, that it is highly misused by certain factions in our country, certain separatist tendencies in our country. Then fake Indian currency notes, they are also used to promote the terrorist activities. And then engagement, positive engagement of civil society and local communities in policies development. Now, ultimately, it is the people who will be the beneficiary of any policy brought by the government. So, it is always better if we include the local community and the civil society while formulating the policy itself. So, in that development stage, if we bring all the communities, all the stakeholders together, I think that would bring a better solution for all the people, for all the beneficiaries. So, these are some of the steps. You can think of more. It's not exhausted. So, I think that's enough for this topic, terrorism in hinterland. And if you still have any doubt, you can ask me in the comment box. And please join the Telegram group Uniform Forces. You can search Uniform Forces and join it. You'll find that helpful for the discussion, for sharing of content. I also sometimes put some note sample, etc. over there. So if you have any doubt, you can ask me. Till then, prepare well. See you in the next video.